Hello, dear friends. Here we are with another study of the book Patience. In this series that we are calling Learning with Emmanuel, we will bring a message from one of the books of Emmanuel weekly, sometimes bi weekly, and we will do what? We are going to learn with him. We are going to improve ourselves and take lessons that you and I can use in our daily lives. Today's message is titled A Crisis Happens. So it is all about when in this lifetime things may happen to us that feels like crisis. So what do we do? And he will give us some examples of what those things are. So, chapter 5 or message 5, a crisis happens. He says, it is an infallible moment in each person's existence. A person or someone often believes that he or she is fulfilled, having fulfilled aspirations or materialized, conquered aspirations that seem too lofty for themselves. However, the spiritual test of our trust appears unexpectedly. So, what are these? So, he says, there will be a time, it's an infallible moment, so it will not fail to occur. We think we have reached something, and then Emmanuel will tell us. It is the relative who has failed to fulfill the obligations assumed. And what does it mean? It compromises the tranquility of the entire family group. The illness of unexpected severity, the separation of the affections of the dearest ones, or the death of a loved one. In these occurrences, the moment of examination arises in which our acquisitions of intimate life are evaluated. So, very simple examples. When you have a family circle, when you have folks who return to the flesh through the process of reincarnation come together, usually they are related to one another. We have our reincarnatory plans, we have the action and reaction, right? Actions we did in the past that determine us coming together in the family circle in this life. And Emmanuel says, give us many examples, a relative that failed to fulfill obligations and now compromises the tranquility of the group. Someone gets ill, someone leaves us, right? People divorce or they just leave, or someone discarnates, the death of a loved one. And he says the moment of examination arises in which the intimate life acquisitions, meaning the deeper values inside of us, are examined, not the values of the world, right? How we look, how we talk, where we live, what we drive, but the true inner values or the values of the spirit. So some people will react in the way that he's describing now. He's going to say, in the face of such testimony or testimonies, some companions give way to revolt or settle for rebellion, right? We don't accept, where we don't resign. And habitually fleeing into unhappy adventures, we take the easy route. We go into the sensations of the flesh, unhappy adventures, acquiring debts that are difficult to repay. So when we enter into revolt or rebellion due to the things that are happening to us, and what are these unhappy adventures? Alcohol, substances, addictions of all kinds, just thinking that we only live once and experiences, travel, not doing the inner work, right? It says others, so this is one group, others use courage and serenity and accept the tribulations that seek them, recognizing in them valuable factors that impel them toward their own renewal. So Emmanuel is saying, these things could happen to you in our family circle, and then there is a dichotomy, there is a fork on the road, right? Some people will go into revolt and rebellion, even acquiring further debts down the road. Others will be what? Patient, with serene and courage, recognizing that what's happening can impel us, can propel us into renewal. So when we renew ourselves, we are using new knowledge, we acquire new experiences to transform the old us into the new us, to not fall into the same pattern. And this is an opportunity for us to move forward. Now he's going to give us many ways we can do this inner renewal, things that you and I can actualize in our lives. Now we learned that crisis will happen to all of us in many different forms. Billions of incarnate spirits are experiencing some sort of those crises. Even in your own life, you can look around and see those who have difficult in their families, those who are ill, those who left, those who are grieving the loss of a loved one. So now do we do? He says, if you recognize, he's going to say this. When you find yourself like this in a serious and difficult hour, in which all the advantages that you have acquired over time seem to drag you towards suffering, do not despair or lose heart. So first of all, I jumped ahead here on a paragraph, but he says, do not despair or lose heart. Trust in God and move forward. Because if we despair and lose heart and revolt, we are at risk of connecting to entities who are attached to the lower vibrations or that want to hurt us, and then we go on into these unhappy adventures that acquire more depth. Trust in God and move forward. Now, the things we can do in our daily lives. If you recognize the power of mutual support, help your companions in trials as much as you can, so that the support of others will not forget you in the day of your own difficulties. Friends, we do not help others just because we want to be helped back, but the act of helping others can become the help of the future. Let's think about this. Let's say today you're driving and there's someone asking for food at the traffic light. There's an unhoused homeless person. Then you help them. One day they might be able to help others. Tomorrow you see that your coworker is suffering because their loved ones left in the sense of left to move out across state or to form a new family. There's a divorce or left this life through discarnation. We help them, and then we build this network of support where when you helped, maybe when our difficulties arise, we will not be without mutual support. This is the law of society. We don't do things alone, right? Even if your friends from other times do not recognize you in the days of restlessness, God sees you, providing you with resources according to your needs. What is the foremost resource that you and I have in the times of difficulties? Our guardian angels, mentors, or spirit guides. They are there just waiting for us to tune in, and God provides us with this 24/7 coaching in the flesh while we reincarnated. In the present earthly world, humankind protects themselves against the lack of food value, stocking up on basic goods. protect the roads, eliminating risk of accidents, and promote vaccinations, preventing the outbreak of epidemics, right? These are things that humans do to preserve the life that we have on the planet. We secure food, we secure the roads, we vaccinate, we use medical care. With this in mind, Emmanuel continues, let us understand the imperative of exercising strength and understanding, patience and solidarity, because generally speaking, in every existence in the world, the day comes when a crisis occurs. So for all of us, in each reincarnation, crisis had come. Sometimes we needed to be, as it says, propel us to inner renewal. Sometimes we make choices that lead us to the crisis. Yet, he says, every existence in this world, in all existences, not only each existence for us as reincarnated being, but all of the incarnate beings, at a time will come when there will be a crisis. Then, last but not least, he says, use patience and tolerance. Because Jesus said, do unto others, right? So if we were in a time of crisis and having difficulties, we would like someone to help us and be patient. We would like someone to be tolerant towards us and understanding. Live your own life and let others live the life that heaven has granted them. So we allow each other to exist, to live the life that God gave us through our reincarnatory plan, through the blessing of reincarnation. We use patience, we use tolerance, and then we exercise the values of inner renewal, which are strength, understanding, patience, and solidarity. Because we all go through crisis, and if you're going through crisis, you are not alone. You can contact your Spiritist center. You can call the 988 hotline for the suicide prevention. You can call your friends, your family members, your friends. Many workplaces have resources as well for employees. There is a 24/7 coach right by your side, your guardian angel, your spirit guide. So, dear friends, as we live our own life, exercising patience and tolerance, we are helping one another to progress, because the law is of progress. And dear friends, I hope you've enjoyed this program. Please give us a like, subscribe, share. Make sure others receive this content as well through your engagement. And God willing, we'll be back with you with another Learning with Emmanuel series soon. Take care. Bye-bye.